If you are a beginner in learning calligraphy and feeling stuck right now, I feel obligated to share these myths with you. That's because anybody can learn this art form, and I hate to see when beginners give up on it.
To be honest, even I had these false beliefs when I started learning calligraphy. And in my 5 years of teaching, I have come across a lot of beginners who feel the same. So, my aim with this video is to break these 6 common myths about learning calligraphy. In turn, motivate beginners like you to keep at it. Just remember that calligraphy is a skill and not a talent. So, this means that anyone can learn it just like any other skill. As long as you put in the time and effort to learn, you can be good at calligraphy. Before we begin, quickly subscribe to my channel and stay tuned till the end to find out all the myths that are keeping you from learning calligraphy. Myth 1. If your handwriting is bad, you can't create calligraphy. This is hands down one of the most common myths around learning calligraphy. Calligraphy and handwriting are not related, period. That's because handwriting is for day-to-day written communication, whereas calligraphy is the art of creating visually appealing letters with strokes. This is one of the many differences between handwriting and calligraphy. For example, as you can see, my handwriting and calligraphy are very different from each other. Also, my handwriting has no bearing on how my calligraphy looks. The important thing to remember about calligraphy is that it's an art form. And here you draw letters rather than writing them. To be honest with you, I learned it the hard way. At first, I thought calligraphy would come easy to me as my handwriting was good. Of course, that wasn't the case. For example, I approached calligraphy as handwriting and wrote letters in one go. Needless to say, it turned out to be a mess. That's because I didn't understand the basics of calligraphy at the time. Later, I realized that letters in calligraphy are a combination of basic strokes called up and down strokes. Once I practiced these basics regularly, I saw a noticeable difference in my calligraphy. This in turn reinforced the idea of drawing letters rather than writing them. So, irrespective of your handwriting, good, bad, or horrible, you can learn calligraphy. It's just like working on any other skill as it requires patience and regular practice. If you're looking for sources to practice regularly, you can check out my 48-page Brush Calligraphy Practice Sheet PDF. Myth 2. You're a good calligrapher only when you're able to do it as fast as handwriting. As I explained earlier, calligraphy is an art form and not related to handwriting. Therefore, calligraphy should be done slowly. To draw the basic strokes carefully, make sure that you lift your hand in between strokes, especially when you're learning calligraphy as a beginner. By doing it piecemeal, you allow yourself to develop muscle memory for the correct hand movement. For example, if you are drawing the compound curve in brush calligraphy, the spaces between the curves should be equal. This is possible only when you draw the shape slowly and steadily. If you rush it, you'll end up with inconsistent spacing. Later, with enough practice, you'll pick up the pace. But remember that you're not looking for speed while learning calligraphy. Now you might wonder, if calligraphy should be done slowly, then why does everyone on Instagram do it so fast? That's because these calligraphy videos are highly sped up, at least 4x times, trust me. Because of the time limit on social media and the ever-increasing attention span of the audience, it is impossible to put real-time calligraphy videos, especially on Instagram. Eventually, this makes you feel that calligraphy should be done as fast as handwriting. For example, an edited 20-second clip of me writing a word is a 1.5-minute clip. Even though I've been practicing calligraphy since the age of 15, I still do it very patiently. As I said earlier, calligraphy requires the utmost care and precision to draw, and this is possible only when you do it at a slow pace, at least slower than handwriting. Moreover, it is going to help you get better at calligraphy faster. That's because you will develop good muscle memory with slow movements. Not convinced yet? I challenge you to write the word hello in calligraphy, both fast and slow. You'll see the difference yourself. And if you do, tag me on Instagram stories. I'd love to see what you come up with. Myth 3. You need special tools that are expensive to get started with learning calligraphy. No, you don't. Rather, you can get started with a regular pen and pencil. This technique is called faux calligraphy. Basically, you draw the calligraphy strokes with a pen or pencil rather than a brush pen, but the output is exactly the same. In my opinion, learning faux calligraphy is the best way to get started with your calligraphy journey. It helps you develop a deep understanding of letter structure. In fact, this is how I got started when I was 15 years old, and till today I use this technique every time, especially when I have to do calligraphy on walls. In general, for faux calligraphy, all you need is a regular pen, a gel pen, marker, fine liner, pencil, and any paper. Moreover, I recommend learning faux calligraphy as it is a low investment path. This in turn helps you realize if calligraphy is something that you'd want to spend time and money exploring. If you're interested in learning faux calligraphy, then you can check out my Skillshare class, Beginner's Guide to Learning Calligraphy and Hand Lettering. It is a step-by-step guide that will walk you through the process of creating artwork from rough sketch to final drawing. I link it in the description below, and you'll also get 1 month free. Myth 4. Getting the same pen as the other artist will make you better at calligraphy instantly. This is the most common question I get on my Instagram posts. Which pen is this? While there is nothing wrong with this question, I want to focus on the intent here. As soon as beginners see a smooth calligraphy video on social media, they're quick to conclude, if I get this pen, I'll also be able to write like this right away. Are you guilty of it too? Trust me, I was when I was a beginner in calligraphy. While it is true that getting started with the right calligraphy supplies helps you avoid beginner frustration, at the same time, it is important to remember that it takes a lot of practice to get better at calligraphy. Even though you may start learning calligraphy with the best supplies, you will not be good at it in a flash. Like I said earlier, you will have to work on building muscle memory for the basic calligraphy strokes, and only then you'll start to see some progress. In my opinion, you only need a few items to get started. Let me help you with a good quality DIY brush calligraphy kit under 1000. I've also made a video on it and I will link it in the top right corner. So these are the best brush calligraphy supplies that you can use as a beginner. Large tip brush pen, Zig Brushables brush pen, small tip brush pen, Tombow Fudenosuke, both small and both soft and hard tip. Paper, JK Cedar printing paper or any smooth paper above 100 GSM. Pencil, ruler and eraser. This DIY beginner brush calligraphy kit will cost you a total of INR 1000, approximately $12 and the pens will last you for 6 months at least. Additionally, the Tombow Fudenosuke brush pens are refillable, so yikes. Later, you can buy as many calligraphy pens as you like, but remember, no calligraphy pen will help you get better at calligraphy instantly. Apart from this, you can also get a set of brush calligraphy practice sheets. These traceable guides will help you in learning the correct letter forms. If you start with the right supplies and practice your way up regularly, at least for a month, you'll see tremendous improvement in your calligraphy skills. Myth number 5. You'll become a pro calligrapher right after you take a workshop or online course.
Definitely no. Rather, I suggest you keep your expectations low in terms of acquiring calligraphy skills instantly. In fact, this is the first myth that I break for my calligraphy students right after they join my brush calligraphy online course.
If you are expecting to become a pro at calligraphy right after attending a 4 to 5 hour workshop, then you are setting yourself up for frustration. That's because developing calligraphy skills requires regular practice once the class is over. The aim of calligraphy workshops or online courses is to introduce attendees like you to the basics and methods of the script. Later, you can apply that knowledge to your regular calligraphy practice and work on becoming a pro artist. While you may choose the best calligraphy teacher or online course, the right mindset to join any calligraphy class or course is to understand the technique behind the script. Afterwards, it depends on the time you dedicate to honing your calligraphy skills.
Now, this doesn't mean that getting good at calligraphy takes too long. For example, it took me around 2 months with consistent practice to get good enough to write cards and envelopes in brush calligraphy. In fact, within 6 months of learning, I was teaching brush calligraphy workshops.
In the same workshop, one of my students, Pooja, who goes by the name Alethea Letterings, attended. After the 5 hour class, she practiced regularly. And today, within 2 years, not only does she teach calligraphy, but also has a thriving business of customized calligraphy frames. So, before you join any course, remember to set out extra time to practice daily after the class. Eventually, if you practice regularly, even for a month, your calligraphy will look more presentable than when you had just started. Now, time to move on to the last myth for today. Myth 6: you must learn calligraphy with a live instructor.
I love teaching calligraphy and enjoy interacting with students one on one. Yet there are some people who want to learn from me but are not able to be present during the live workshop hours due to commitments at home and work. And I hear you. Learning calligraphy should not be this difficult.
While you may miss out on the instant feedback from a live calligraphy instructor, there are so many other ways to learn calligraphy at your own pace. Additionally, get well rounded feedback too. So, learn calligraphy online. For example, you can opt for pre recorded online courses on calligraphy. Why? Firstly, you can learn calligraphy at your pace. In this case, you can still make progress even if you spend 15 minutes each day learning calligraphy. Not to mention, you don't have to be available when the instructor is. Secondly, it's well structured like a live calligraphy workshop. For example, experienced calligraphy instructors design the classes to answer your queries as you progress through the course. Moreover, you can ask your questions and get feedback via discussions and email, all at your pace. Thirdly, most online calligraphy courses offer lifetime access to content, so you can go back and revise concepts and best practices for calligraphy, unlike a live class where you have to make notes. Lastly, pre recorded calligraphy courses are more economical than in person workshops. So, if you're sure that you want to learn calligraphy online, you can check out my course, Learn Brush Calligraphy Basics and Beyond. It has 60 plus video tutorials along with lifetime access. Also, you'll get a certificate if you submit your final project after completing the course. Currently, it is at a discounted price of INR 1199, approximately 14 US dollars, and I'll link it in the description below. Apart from an online course, you can also learn calligraphy via blogs, YouTube videos, and books. Although they may not provide you with the structure of an online calligraphy course, they're a good option to consider, especially if you're looking for economical ways to learn calligraphy.
So, these are all the 6 myths that I wanted to share with you. Let's quickly summarize them. I hope that all your myths around learning calligraphy are now busted. If you are a beginner, please tell me which myth did you relate to the most in the comments. And if you feel that there is something that I missed, please let me know in the comments below.
Till then, thank you so much for watching the video and don't forget to subscribe for more. Bye bye.